Okay, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, or good morning, good afternoon, whenever you're gonna see this video. But since I'm making this video in the evening, so I will say good evening. And since my English lecturer will be watching this, hi, Miss Susy, if you're watching this, I hope you all doing great in this lovely day. And thank you for your time to watch this video and to attend my presentation, even though it's like in the video form. Um, in this time I'm gonna present about what is like play therapy. Oh, what is it? What is it like the therapy that has to do with the play? Like what is it? Don't worry because I'm gonna like talk all about this out like in this time. And before we gonna start this, let me introduce myself for those who don't know me. So my name is Shania Aprilia Portis Hartian, or Shania if it's pronounced in Indonesian, and you may call me April. I am from Psychology Department, class 03, and as you can see my university name right there. And before we started to, I have divided my presentation into three parts, and I'm gonna tell you like soon what is it about. Then some quick fun fact from where I'm from. I'm from a gold city, and also it has another nickname as the Dollar City. Oh, it sounds so fancy, isn't it? And yeah, my city actual name is Timika City, and the reason why like it has like the really fancy nicknames, it's because we have like the American mining company here. It's called the PT Freeport Indonesia, where they mining all the precious stones, precious minerals from here. But enough with the fun fact because we're not gonna talking about that. We're gonna focus on the play therapy. And don't worry about taking the notes because all the importance are in here already in my presentation, in my PowerPoint. I mean, but if you still wanted to take the notes, it's okay though. And I provide a handout for this PowerPoint, and if you interested to have it, you may like contact or just like tell in the comment down below since it's a video. And I'm trying my best to make the presentation in the effective time around 15 to 20 minutes. So let's just start it. Okay, so let's observe and see the differences. In the left side, we have like the kids, like all funky and colorful, like have a lot of like toys. It's a group, like not alone. While like in the other side, we have like a really personal counseling, and we just like see the adults and they do like the counseling, and it's like more like for the therapy. And I think with the quick observe, we can see the difference, like how the kids approach it and between the adults as well. And as we can see that their approach is so different, while like the adults, it's more like personal, and the kids, it's more like all like gathering, like using more toys, like the more a lot of like media, like to help them to express. So the best that I can conclude in here it's from this comparison, it's like the kids language, it's different when it's like whenever it comes to the expressing their feelings, and the adults it's different too, it's more like personal, right? Okay, so the next part. Okay, so the three table of contents here that I was like mentioned earlier was like the first one we're gonna talking about the definition and the flash background about the play therapy. The second, it's like the stages in play therapy and the properties, and a little more for your new knowledge, which is like I put more like spices in there so it can adding more knowledge. And then the last is like tips and ideals or goodbye, But the tips I mean here just gonna be like little tips about how to help the kids to express their feeling and to behaving in the right ways so they can like grow more confidently. And it's actually like a parenting tips from the psychology perspectives. So let's just consider this play therapy in more detail. Okay, Entering the first one, the first stage. So actually, what is a play therapy? So as we can see, it says that the play therapy is a form of therapy that primarily used for children to help kids expressing their indescribable feelings and pardon, and to helping them to coping with their distress. So to help kids expressing their indescribable feelings, since we all know that the kids is still like developing like their language, their cognitive, like the physical too. Of course, like their language, like their vocabulary, it's not that much as the adults do, of course. That's why sometimes they struggling to like tell their feelings like directly, so it becomes like indirect, and most of the parents like not gonna really understand about it. That's why it says like to help the kids expressing their indescribable feelings and to helping them to coping with their distress. So if you don't know what is distress it's a bad stress, and in the psychology we have like two kinds of stress. The first one is eustress and the second one is like distress. So eustress is a kind of stress that can motivate you to do the good things, and the distress is the other side, like the bad guy here, so it's like it's a kind of stress that makes you like demotivating, or like just make you like stressed, like not gonna make you like any good. So in here, the play therapy purpose is like to help those like the kids, especially like the kids to coping with their distress. It's like they're gonna use the media, especially like the toys, to help them to to express their inner feeling, right? And then a flash background. So the background here it says that sometimes play therapy may also be used to assess how effective pharmacological or therapy has been with a particular child. So, beside like of course like the main purpose, it's like to assess how effective like the pharmacological here. It's like the effective sides like from the medicine that has been given to the child, and also to be a therapy and the particular child like in here it's like like we all know that all the kids, like the personalities is like so much. Like not all the kids are the same, of course. Like they are like gift and with their uniqueness. That's why like in here the therapist will be able to pick up indicators like from that differences, and then the therapist will be able to pick up indicators from places patients before and after the treatment and compare them to understand how much the child has benefit from it. And it is crucial to remember that not all children with undergoing problems may benefit from play therapy. That's a really like really strong lines that you have to note that in mind. And the therapist here gonna make the assessment of the child situation. So every assessment it's not gonna be the same for all the kids. So it's gonna like according to their behavior, their personality, like their needs. So yeah, um, then yeah, let's say like this. If like the therapist like meets like the kid's client, if the child is like too aggressive or too like hyperactive, so it needs like the quick intervention. So yeah, it's like the intervention it's gonna be like different. So it's gonna be fast intervention. That's why it's gonna be like different. And of course like play therapy it's not the only therapy like out there to help the kids, because there's like so much like other therapies that appropriate for the kids. Just like the cognitive behavioral therapy like CBT or family focused therapy FFT and many out there. Okay. Oh, now let's move to the second sequel. It's about the stages and materials of play according to Jean Piaget. So who is Jean Piaget? In psychology theory, he is like a Swiss psychologist. That he is the founder of the child development theory. He found that theory that is like really useful in psychology. One of the grand psychologists out there too. Okay, Okay, so now entering the first part, which is the stages of play. Start off with the first one, which is the sensory motor play. Usually the child's development starting from the zero, like the newborn, all the way to the 2 years old. And in this like kind of age, like the appropriate toys that you wanna give, it's like something that is like colorful, but safe enough, like safe enough for the child that they can like swallow it. So it's like that big enough, not like the Lego or something like that. Also something that has like a lot of sound so they can like improve like they trigger like the five senses, like the hearing, like the audio, like the visual, and then to speak, like there's basically like the sensory, and the proper toys that you want to give, it's like could be like the book because it's like colorful, or like a, like sticking like the blocks, and also like put in the shapes, like kind of thing like in the box when they have like the shapes, like the pieces, also like the holes that adjusting to the shapes, like you know what I mean. And then the second one, it's the symbolic play. Starts from the 2 years old all the way to the 7 years old. In this stage, the kids like they're gonna like developing like their imagination. And as a guardian or parents, we want to help to, to trigger like their kind of like logic and understanding to understand like the symbol. So you may like want to give like something that has to do with the number, or like the alphabets, and also you can like give the Lego, but still like under the vision too, also under the supervision. Yeah, supervision, and also you can try like play drama with them too. And the third one, it's the social play. It starts from the 7 to 11 years old. Oh, it's like, yeah, the early of the puberty age, and this age, of course, you're gonna like this, like the kids will like starting to improving like their social skills, and the toy that you can like help them to triggering like to build like their logic, like the logic, it's like snake stairs or the monopoly. And actually, like with the monopoly, I really prove like it's so appropriate in this age because it can like improve your social skills to the others. It's really fun, And the last one, it's the game with the rules, starting from the age from 12, like from 11 years old. Um, Actually, it could be like all the way to the teenager, but since it's like more like detail about the kid, so the appropriate age, like in the play therapy focused is like until 12 years old, right? And in this age, kids usually like gonna be like really like strategic, like like the competitive. So the right game or toys like hide and seek, and basically like any sports that you wanna give to them, um oh, now let's move to the material, like the proper toys for play therapy. But before we start, I just want to say that the play therapy activities could be anything, actually, like such as play itself in general, like socialize, or recreational play, or like playing dolls, storytelling, calm play, or something that can calm the kids. Like, but I mean, here it's like doing the art, like the artsy or musical thingy, And okay, entering this stage, like this part, we're gonna like, like talk about the expression toys. Expression. It's like I think we all know it's like a part of ourselves to express ourselves, like either it's like the feelings, or the mind. So it's like we're gonna provide like the media of toys that for the kids to express their feelings like in their mind. It's like the appropriate could be like the bus or like the doll, something that miniature, like to represent their feelings. And the second one, it's the creativity toys. So if like in this part, like if you wanna like your child to be like creative, like to improving like their skills, the right toy I mean like the right toy like could increase like for them to think like out of the box could be like the crayons or the play-doh, something that has to do with the art, either it's like a knitting too, like that. And the next one is the emotion distributor toys. So it's basically like the kids gonna like use that toy as like their emotion distributor, So usually in this part, like they're gonna be focusing on the media that really like could be helpful for the kids to express their indescribable feelings. So the red toy could be like the watercolor paint, like so they're gonna paint the canvas, and the sand, And the last one is the aggression distributor toys. So aggression, if the kid's already in the last stage, like starting to hit the puberty, they're gonna be like so competitive, yet like aggression, like starting like to feel like, oh, it's mine, like that kind of like mentality. So, the perfect toys for this one, like more like the boy, that we can give it's like the fake shield and the fake swords. Okay. Oh, therefore, when play therapy could be applied effectively. What I mean over here, it's like it could be like effective if it's like the therapy could be like effective to be treated if the client, the kid's client, have these like kind of like backgrounds, like the issue. At first, when it's like face like if the client it's like facing the medical procedures, like the having the palliative care or having the chronic illness and having like the developmental delay or learning disabilities, misbehaving, it's like when they like misbehave and throw like the attitude that it's like out of control, either it's like at school, at home, then the last part is like if they have like the disorders like such as like the attention deficit hyperactivity disorder or like ADHD or autism spectrum disorder or ASD, and having like the traumatic events, it could be caused from the family background like the divorce or like losing of like the loved ones, like the grief, or it's like from the natural and the social disaster too. Okay, let's moving on to another therefore. So actually, what will happen during the play therapy session? So usually, like the play therapy could be last between so like 40 minutes up to the 1 hour. And during a play therapy session, the child is taken to the playroom and asked to explore some toys that are age appropriate. So they're gonna set up a place with the like the right toy like based on their age too. So it's gonna be like appropriate, and usually like the kids gonna like freely like they don't have to be worried. So they're just gonna like take some toys like that really like take their interest and really like um like drawing like their feelings, and let's say like this if like the like it's gonna be like spontaneous of course, and it says like and usually the kids with the family like problem, like the background, the family issue, the kids gonna like draw like the happy family. But if it's like a conduct from the family like the problem like really serious one, they're gonna be like really aggressive, like they're gonna take the doll and they're just gonna start to beat it, and of course during this session they're still gonna be like under the supervision of the therapist, and the therapist may like observe, of course, like how they play it, like everything, and analyzing their behavior. They're gonna like you can interpret like all of their observation and analyzing it, and also after that just gonna write them the reports. So it's like they're gonna write it down like the results, or the aftermath, and they're gonna discuss it with the guardian from the kids guardian. Either it's gonna be like the kids guardian or like the kids parents, like to discuss like what's for the next. But usually the therapist may put like them like to the group session like with the same age, more like, so it's gonna be like more fun, so the kids won't be like feel lonely, or make it even worse. But especially if it's like in the natural or social disaster place, they're just gonna make it like a bunch like the big group, and they're just gonna play some activities together. It's like appropriate that the things that they usually like do, and it is like proven in the most cases like in the disaster place for them to like to recover like emotional and mentally, so they can like starting to getting back at the track. Okay, it's the last section. It's a tips time. Okay, so as I'm saying over here, we gonna talk like a little parenting tips to like a little starter to help the kiddos starting from home to be exact. So as the guardian or either especially as the parents, if we want like our kids like to grow like confidently and healthy mentally, spiritually, and the healthy being too, we can start off to be an active listener. Even though like they're still kids, sometimes they're just like blabbering a nonsense, like like too much imagination. But it's nothing wrong that to just like hear. So by that we can like also like to learn the kids behavior, so that we can like try understand like what it's like they thinking, like their cognitive progress. And the second that you want to do, it's like to give some time and be patient. This one may be like so hard, especially when the kids it's like toddler starting to hitting the tantrum, and it's so hard. But we have to give it like some time because the kids it's like developing. It's a new world to them that we have to give it a time to grow, and also like to guarding them, like to teaching them, and also be patient to like to face their tantrum, so we can like understand and can educate like in the right way after like they calm down. And the third one is freedom. Like you may like want to give your kids some freedom of speech, but remember that there's like a limit. So it's like you can build like a discussion, but don't forget like the limit, like just like because like you may like make a discussion like a friends, because usually the kids will be more comfortable if you're like if they think of you as their friends, but there's still of course like the border, like a parents and the kids. That's that one you really want to be careful about it. And the fourth one is appreciation 24/7. Appreciation. Who doesn't want to be appreciated? Even us as an adult or like the older people around the kids want to be appreciated 24/7. Even though, like we are wrong, but as the older people, we want to like be the best for the kids, of course. So you may want to appreciate your loved ones, your little one, even though like they're wrong, but keep praising them, because eventually with that it can really like motivate them like to be better and like to learn more, and be more critical. And the fifth one is privacy. Believe me or no, I know most of us thinking like, oh, they just like a kid. Like, why will they need a privacy? But believe me or not, based on the psychological study, it really shows that the kids really do need their privacy. Like, either like to breathe, like to think, like to explore their imagination. It's also like to teach them like how to respect the other's privacy. And the sixth one is be open and be friendly since they are a kid. Like, even though like we hear like some nonsense blabbering, we have to like be friendly, but like just to accept it, so the kids will grow more confident to trust you even more, to share what's in their mind, in their heart. And the next one is the reward system. Oh my, everyone loves it. So are the kids. Reward system, it's like you may like put like some like like some task today. You may want to reward, if they achieve something. And of course, like the kids gonna be like more motivating, like more than ever. And also quality time. Most of all the kids actually like what they need the most is your time. You may be busy, but just like lay some of your time, for the kids, because eventually it's gonna be like they really gonna appreciate that and even like respect you. And especially if you like give some quality time, either it's a go to play date, like just together, like the parents and the kids, or exploring the new things, to unlock like their experience. It's gonna be like a really loving long-term memory that they're gonna have with you. Okay, so before we end, I would like to summarize this presentation. Like play therapy, it's really like one of like the most like used therapy for the kids, because since the kids' language is different from the adults. And yeah, either like us as the parents or the guardian, we should be more aware about this, like about the kids, even though like sometimes we're just like busy and tired, don't really care about them, but we have to still like watching over like their developing stages. And we want to also like to adding more like education for ourselves, so we can like be better for the kids, because eventually the kids, it's really like mirroring those around them. So we want like to teach them like to grow more confident, to trust us enough, and also to have a good, really quality, strong relationship. Most of all, and let's just like spread the awareness like about like the kids, like what they need. And if your kids it's really like out of control or anything, just take them to the therapist. Nothing is wrong with it. Trust me, they're gonna help your kids to grow. And yeah, that's it from the play therapy presentation from me. And before I end it, there's like a famous quote from the Albert Einstein. He says that playing is the highest form of research. That's it. Thank you. Like that's it for my presentation. I'm sorry if there's like still like not really complete, but I'm trying my best here. And thank you all for watching, for your giving your attention. I truly appreciate it. Um, if you have any question, feel free to ask, and I'll be more than happy to try solving your curiosity. So don't be afraid. Let's have some discussion here. And yeah, just have a good day. God bless you all. Stay safe and see you later.